Hello viewers, welcome to our lecture series on marketing management, and in this very series we have been talking about marketing of services, and this is going to be part 6 of our lectures on the topic of marketing of services, wherein we have been talking about how to formulate a specific strategy in relation to marketing of services. So, how to go for formulating a different strategy, and why do we need different strategies, that we have already discussed, because the services are entirely different from what we have been doing in case of products, and that is why they require a different set of strategies, because the very nature of services are entirely different from that of product. So, keeping that in mind, we have been talking about how to formulate, how to define and design the product for services. I mean, how to go for services packaging, and that is something which we have already discussed. And in continuation to that, we have been talking about pricing strategy for services, what are the challenges, framework and strategies with regard to pricing of services, and what are the pricing objectives. That is something which I am going to present before you in today's lecture of mine, and then we will talk about in due course of our discussion the role of place and promotions in services. So, in nutshell, we have been talking about how to define and design the 4 P's, that is product, price, place and promotion, for marketing of services. How do they differ, and what kind of changes we need to incorporate when we are planning the same, when we are crafting and managing the same for the marketing of services, or you can say when we are doing the same exercise for a product, for an offering which is actually a service. And service is not tangible, we all know it is something which is intangible. So, how to tangibilize it, how to convert it or transform it into a tangible form, wherein we can at least present something before the customers, before the clients. That is what is the basic motive of today's discussion of ours when we talk about pricing strategy for services. So, we all know that for services, there are different nomenclatures we have been using with regard to their prices. For instance, for in case of legal services, in case of education consultancy or healthcare, we do not call it price, we call it fee. And when it comes to insurance or some other policies, there we are using a term called premium. When it is transportation, we call it fare, and when it is related to property usage fee, we call it rent. So, this is something which actually gives a reflection of the kind of changes we are witnessing when it comes to marketing of services, and that is why we have been talking about the framework of a pricing strategy, which is described as a tripod with the 3 legs suggested by Rich and Lovelock, and they have actually talked about cost to the provider, competitors, pricing and value to the customer. So, we have been talking about cost to the provider in case of cost plus pricing or markup pricing, and competitors pricing we have been we have discussed when in the form of customary pricing, or what market is expecting from you with regard to pricing of that particular service, what your competitors are charging. And when it comes to value to the customers, we talked about 2 different dimensions of value based pricing, wherein some customers they see value in discounts and offers, wherein some customers see value in benefits. So, accordingly or with regard to different types of services you are offering, and according to the target market, you either decide to be on one side, that is called value based pricing, or that is called discount pricing, or value in terms of discount, or the other side, that is value in terms of benefits. So, that is what we have discussed in previous lectures of ours, wherein I told you about the different terms, that is called value as benefits, and there we talked about suitability, quality, features and benefits, and they are being offered to the customers. So, the customers who are looking for value as benefit, they basically look for multiple benefits which are associated with that, with the particular service. Now, coming to the strategies which marketers are actually following with regard to pricing of a particular service, and here comes the role of prestige pricing. As I told you, that it aims to attract premium market segments, and there the pricing is deliberately kept on a higher side, and that higher price is giving you a satisfaction, because you are actually having a feel of exclusiveness, that I am using the exclusive service, and for that I am paying the higher prices. And there the marketers are using prestige pricing just to give a feel that yes, you are the exclusive one, you are among some few who are actually availing this service. And of course the quality is also commensurate to the kind of services which are always on the higher side. So the services price reflects the status of the target market, and customers place a higher value on the services high price, because they understand that the services are matchless, the services are very high quality, and that is why they are supposed to shell out the premium price for the kind of service they are availing. So it is actually a pricing strategy where higher prices are actually used to imply exclusivity and excellence, that you are actually feeling, having a sense of exclusiveness and excellence, and that is why you don't feel any problem in paying that higher price. So, my dear learners, this prestige pricing, when we are looking for the services, if you go to any of the 7-star hotels or international hotels, the charges which are deliberately kept on a higher side, that is giving a reflection of the kind of service they are offering to you, or you can say the kind of services we are expecting from them, they demand for a higher pricing. So it can be discussed, it can be understood from any of the dimensions. Either you go from the dimension of benefits, that the kind of services you are availing, for that you need to shell out a good amount, that is a significant amount, or you can say the attractive premium price you have to actually pay. And that higher price is actually giving you a sense of satisfaction, because you understand that since you are availing the service of an international hotel, or that particular service which is which is actually exclusive in nature, that is why you are ready to pay out a higher price. Although some of the marketers nowadays, they are actually coming up with a new strategy called mastige pricing. So, they are actually adding this prestige to the masses, which means percolating down this benefits of prestige pricing to the masses. So, for some point of time where what you call as a lean period, where you do not have a good amount of inflow of customers with regard to your services, you can offer some freebies, discounts and offers to those customers who are actually, who belong to the masses and who generally do not wish to pay that much of premium amount for the services. So, for them also you can invite, for them also you can open that particular service for a specific period in terms of some discounts, offers and freebies, so that in future they may also escalate themselves to the next level, and that is called mastige pricing. So, all luxury brands and upscale eateries, they are usually engaging in this kind of strategy, what you call as prestige pricing. And we do have different other pricing strategies which we have already discussed: skimming pricing, penetration pricing. But when we look at the pricing tripod, it is actually described as a pricing strategies framework is actually described as a tripod with 3 legs representing cost to the provider, competitors pricing and value to the customer. So, we can't ignore any of them. On one hand, we have the cost to the provider, which cannot be ignored. Whatever cost I am incurring as a service provider, that is the minimum price which I need to charge from my customers. Whereas, wherein we have to keep in mind what competitors are charging. Suppose if my cost is on a very higher side and competitors are charging a lesser price, then in that case we need to bring that price, that cost at least at par with the competitors pricing strategy. Because if we do not do that, what will happen? Either we create some unique selling proposition added to our services, that that a service that we are offering some kind of service which nobody else is providing. So, either we do so, or we go for bringing that cost down to the level of competitors pricing, and eventually the customer should also feel that satisfaction that they have got the same value, whatever value they have sacrificed in terms of payment of prices, they should at least get the same price, same value from the services. So that is called pricing tripod, and we all understand cost based pricing is there, competition based pricing is there, wherein based on market competition, you design and devise a price that yes, this is something which I can charge, or this is something beyond which I cannot charge. So those pricing strategies are being adopted by the service marketers. When we talk about pricing strategies, there is a very popular pricing strategy called segmentation pricing. It actually refers to separating the group of customers from the rest of the market by offering a separate package, that you are actually using a segmentation pricing. The best example of this segmentation prices is Indian Railways, wherein IRCTC is actually charging, or railways are is actually charging the different prices for different segments of customers. If you are booking a ticket under sleeper category, or AC 3 tier or 2 tier, or first class, accordingly you have to pay the different prices, although you are covering the same destination. But here the pricing is based on the different types of different sets of services which are being offered to the customers in different segments. So the service which is offered in AC 2 tier is not the same what we are getting in AC first. So accordingly the prices are actually being decided, and customers they easily shell out. And when we talk about price framing, it is actually providing complete pricing information for various service packages, so that customers can group the desired services at a price, and then they can place an order. So there is also a price framing that you can decide. Most of the hotels and restaurants, they are actually having this kind of strategy called price framing, where you can select the group of the services, the group of the desired services at different prices, and then eventually you place an order. So my dear learners, you have to understand that the pricing strategy of services sector is very much evolving in nature. It is actually based on the kind of service you are offering. So you have to understand the kind of service you are availing, accordingly you are being charged. There is also a very popular strategy called differential or flexible pricing. We also call it dynamic pricing. Most of the airlines, and even to some extent Indian Railways, is also using this flexible pricing when it comes to Tatkal and premium Tatkal booking services. So they are actually using it to reduce the perishability characteristic of the services, and in that process they are ironing out the fluctuations in demand. So this is also a strategy where they are using flexible prices, or what you call as differential pricing strategy, just in order to ensure that they are actually having a pricing strategy which is at par with the what you call as the market trends, what your competitors are charging. And since it is a flexible pricing, so if you are booking at the last minute, then of course you need to shell out some higher amount as compared to what others have paid, because they planned their travel in advance, and they paid some amount of money. This is one example. There are number of examples. There are number of sectors where this differential pricing or flexible pricing is being used. So you should always remember that differential pricing implies charging different prices, either based on time, or it can be based on the place as well. So it can be based on any of the parameters, either in terms of time or in terms of place, etc. There is also another pricing strategy which is very much popular in case of services marketing, that is called divergently pricing, wherein you are actually deciding the price on the base of divergence. So it actually indicates towards a low price which is quoted for a basic service to attract customers. So basic price is being charged for basic services, and if you want some add-on, then of course you have to shell out higher amount. So it is just to attract the customers, those who are not able to avail your services, because your service is of higher quality. So you can offer them the basic service at a basic price, but yes, of course, for best of services, for add-on services, they need to shell out higher amount for availing all the services. In services marketing, another strategy is called guaranteed pricing. As the term itself indicates, it is guaranteed. So guaranteed pricing means it is supposed to be paid only when the particular service is being offered. So it refers to pricing strategy in which payment is to be made only after the results are achieved. For instance, if you are availing the services of a consultant, if you are availing the services of a property dealer, for buying a particular property or selling a particular property. So that commission which you are paying to that particular property dealer is only going to be due when the deal is finalized. So this is called guaranteed pricing. So it is a pricing strategy in which we are only liable to make the payment of that particular service once the deal is finalized, or you can say once the results are achieved by the service provider. There is another pricing strategy called high price maintenance pricing. So it is a strategy which is used when the high price is associated with the quality of the service. Because the service is of high quality, you have to pay higher amount. There is also a pricing strategy called loss leader pricing. So it is a strategy wherein a low initial price is charged in the hope of gaining more and more business at a later stage, and the prices may also get better in future. So this is called loss leader pricing, wherein initially you don't bother about making profit. Initially you bother about having the huge or significant amount of market share, and for that only you are actually resorting to this kind of pricing strategy. So my dear learners, there are different sets of pricing strategies, whether you call it offset pricing or captive pricing or two-part pricing. There are a number of strategies, and the list is endless. So we have to understand that services marketers, they can choose from a variety of pricing strategies based on their pricing objective. So whatever is their pricing objective, based on that they can select from any of these strategies which I have discussed so far. So you can select, and we have to understand that there is a thorough understanding of the cost of services, the value created for customers, and of course the pricing of competitors is something which is a prerequisite. We cannot decide or determine the price of a service in isolation. We have to understand, we have to be very much aware of what our competitors are charging, what is the value we are creating for our customers, and of course the cost which we are incurring for providing that services to our customers. So we have to understand that a number of pricing decisions are to be made by us as a marketer, and in that process we have to understand who will collect the payment, where, when and how. That is also something which need to be decided. So the question comes, what can be my pricing objective? So pricing objective actually serves as a foundation for pricing methods and policies. So whatever methods and policies we have discussed, for that the foundation is pricing objective. And if you are having a better comprehension of pricing objectives, it can guide my company's entire pricing process. So we should have a better comprehension of pricing objective. So pricing objective, if you ask me about its classification, I would say it can be classified based on their content, desired level of achievement, and also the time horizon. So you can define or design your objectives based on any of these three or all of these three. So what are the different pricing objectives? There are different researches which talk about different pricing objective, and in that process the Wirt and Lovelock, they have classified the pricing objective of services into three basic categories. One is revenue and profit objective. As the term itself indicates, that here the objective is related to, or it actually roams around revenue and profit. Second is patronage and user base related objective, wherein our focus is on patronage and user base related matters. And third one is strategy related objectives. So these are three broad objectives which are classified as the different pricing objectives. Now I will be telling you about each one of them one by one, because these objectives actually provide a sense of direction for a service firm's price setting, and they should be adaptable, and they should change over time in response to changing environmental conditions, and whatever market characteristics demand for, they should accommodate those market changes which are there in market, which we are witnessing in the market in due course of our strategy formulation and implementation. So there can be a form of competition, there can be which can be a factor determining our pricing objective. For instance, whether you are dealing in a perfect competition market, or you are dealing in an oligopoly market, or you are a monopolist or monopolistic competition. So either it is perfect competition or it is imperfect competition. So depending on the type of competition also, our pricing objective may differ. There can be a degree of governmental intervention, that to what extent government intervenes into the pricing strategies of your services. So if the government intervention is there, for instance, in case of schools, private schools, there is a policy by the government, by the state government, that they cannot charge beyond a certain level of, beyond a certain level they cannot charge the tuition fee. So that is something where the government intervenes. So even if they are offering best of services or high quality services, then too they cannot charge beyond a certain level, because there is a government intervention. The same is the case of healthcare services, that you cannot charge beyond a certain level. So we have to understand that that also comes into our way when we are deciding the price of our services. So it can be barriers to entry and exit from market. There can be rate of technological change, and many more factors are there which may design and define the pricing objective of yours as a service provider. Now let's come to the first objective, that is revenue and profit objective. As the objective itself explains its own nature, that here the price is determined by taking into account two things. One is the profit and second is cost of providing services. So here we have to understand that profit gain objective, it may include maximizing long term profit, it may include achieving a specific target level, or increasing revenue from a fixed capacity by varying prices and target segments over time. So revenue and profit objective actually takes care of two things. One is of course the selling price, another is the profit. And when we are talking about selling price and profit, the cost automatically comes into the picture, because without knowing the cost, we cannot decide or determine the profit which we are going to generate out of it. So cost coverage, it may include cost of providing a single service or excluding overhead, fully allocated cost, or many other component can be there when it comes to deciding the cost of it. So the first objective can be revenue and profit objective, wherein our pricing strategy roams around the cost, selling price, and of course the profit. Second one is patronage and user base related objectives. So here the price can be used effectively to build demand and develop a user base by developing customer loyalty and relationships. So here the demand is often increased to realize full capacity utilization, that you are actually using 100% of your plant capacity, and in that process you have to understand that I can only go for 100% capacity utilization when I increase my usage rates and provide value to the customers. So in order to increase the usage rate, I need to increase my customer base, or what you call as user base. So here the objective is to have the significant market share, or you can say we should go for our 100% capacity utilization. So the larger user base can take advantage of economies of scale to gain a competitive cost advantage. Since you are actually having a production at a large scale, then of course you can have the benefits of internal and external economies. So internal and external economies, they are actually resulting into reduction of cost, and eventually they are increasing your profit. So here also, even if you are deciding your pricing objective based on patronage and user base related components, then too the profit is something which comes in front of us, because eventually it results into the higher amount of profits. So by encouraging service trial and adoption, a user base can be developed. You can offer the service trial, or you can go for having some discounts and freebies, some promotional strategies. That is something which I would discuss when we will talk about the promotional strategy of services marketing. So we can do so by expanding our user base. Then third comes strategy related objectives. Here the pricing is actually there to help with positioning and differentiation strategies. For instance, as a price leader or a premium quality provider, you have to decide your role. Either you wish to emerge as a price leader, or you wish to emerge as a premium quality service provider. So pricing can also be used to support your firms, or your as a marketer, your competitive strategy. So you can use your pricing strategy as a positioning strategy, as a positioning component. So it can be used to discourage potential new competitors from entering the market. Suppose if you decide to go for having a to emerge as a price leader, then of course your that strategy may deter other competitors from entering the market, or you can discourage existing competitors from expanding their capacity, because they cannot even dare to think of matching the price which you are actually charging from your customer, or the price at which you are offering services to your customers. So, my dear learners, in nutshell, I would say that when we go for defining the pricing strategy for services marketing, these are the significant components which we have to keep in mind, cause these objectives, they actually decide the what you call as composition and direction of your pricing method which you are resorting to. So, depending upon your pricing objective, whether it is profit motive or it is patronage motive, or there is a strategic element behind your pricing objective, accordingly you will choose from the given list of the pricing methods. So, with this, my dear learners, I try to give you a brief idea of what we have to do when we go for deciding or determining the pricing strategy for marketing of services. So, in the next lecture of mine, I will tell you about the remaining two components, that is place and promotion with relation to marketing of services. Thank you so much.